Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome aboard, and please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you like what you see here. With that out of the way, I thought I'd do a bit of an update, devlog, number 2 for that matter, on my very own game in heavy development at the moment, Hydro. If you haven't checked out devlog number 1 yet, I'll leave a card up above. Otherwise, let's dive in. Hydro is all about an abandoned old hydroelectric power plant, long since forgotten about until now. Recent budget cuts have meant that the council of the local township nearby has decided to press the old power plant back into duty after some time laying dormant. This was once a thriving power plant, but lately, due to changes in the weather and ecosystem, the once wild river in the area has seen days and nights where it just doesn't flow like it used to. All the same, your responsibility in this game is to not only discover and operate the power plant to its optimal level, supplying the local township with power, but to also take care of all maintenance around the site, and even operate lighting guidance on those nights when the river isn't that wild. Will you be up to the task? This game can be thought of as a cross between Infra and Nuclearies, except instead of running a super modern nuclear power plant, you'll be dealing with old, worn down machinery, which seldom behaves the way you want it to. With that intro out of the way, let's dive right into the progress I've made on this game so far, and the main gameplay elements that are involved. The game operates around 2 distinct shifts, a day shift and a night shift. You're expected to work both. You as the player will have fatigue, which builds up as you play, requiring that you rest. A day and night cycle of sorts exists because once rested, you'll find yourself at the beginning of the next shift, either day or night, depending on what your previous shift was. Also, the river flow will randomize between each shift, and this is up to complete chance. This means your ability to generate power or not on any given shift is never guaranteed. It is a roll of the dice. However, the chances are still skewed in favor of a fast-flowing river, in the demo at least, to keep things a little bit more interesting. At the simplest level, you can earn cash by generating power and feeding it to the power grid. You can also earn cash by completing events successfully, such as ensuring passing boats have shore lighting they need to navigate safely at night. Conversely, your funding level is very much negatively affected by many factors. These include costs of maintenance of the facility, such as ordering new oil for the oil pump, replacement fuses for any that have blown up, and also battery acid for the accumulator. More on that shortly. You can also be fined for operating the power plant in an incorrect manner, such as if you generate too much noise. You may receive fines associated with noise complaints and failed audits. I'll go into a little bit more detail on these shortly. Being that the power station is located beside a river, it's natural that boats may need to pass at times, especially now that the river doesn't always flow so fast. Boats will generally pass by during nights when the river is calm. Because of the close proximity of the water wheel to the river, passing boats will need lighting guidance to ensure safe passage. Therefore, you as the player will need to operate marker lighting during boat crossings to enable their safe passage. Failing to do so will result in monetary fines. Lighting will be provided by both a lighthouse and also marker lights placed along the shore of the river. The marker lights themselves require periodic care and winding of their clockwork mechanisms to ensure they remain functional. Not only that, but because of age, marker lights may be prone to losing their clockwork tension at any time and may randomly fail, requiring rewinding. As mentioned earlier, the main way to generate income in the game is to generate power to be fed into the power grid. You can sync to the power grid at a variety of different sync rates. The higher you sync, example between 62 and around 63 Hz, the quicker you can generate money. However, Sinking at higher rates will generally cause your generator grid fuse to wear out faster, meaning that it has a high tendency to blow, requiring a new fuse to be fitted. Replacement fuses cost money and take time to arrive once ordered, so the player needs to be careful with the way they choose to generate grid power. Also, it's entirely possible that a newly fitted fuse may have a short lifespan, owing to the random nature of fuse life that's being programmed into the game. In addition to generating grid power and generating funds, or revenue, to keep yourself above water financially, your other responsibility when it comes to power generation is keeping your on-site battery banks, known collectively as the Accumulator, charged to a sufficient level at all times. All on-site power ancillaries such as lighting, radio, etc. all rely on a sufficient charge in the Accumulator to work properly. You see, the power plant can only output to the power grid, it cannot take any power from it. When the generator is running, you can only output to either the power grid or the Accumulator at any one time, not both at once. No fear though, with the flip of a lever, you can switch between charging your Accumulator or outputting to the power grid. Just don't flip that lever too often, you'll get more fatigue built up in doing so. At any time you can check out the Accumulator stand to see if you're drawing from or charging the Accumulator bank. This is via the telltale indicator. A clockwise movement means a positive charge is going into the Accumulator. The speed of the telltale's rotation is another indication of how much charge is going into the Accumulator as well. Be careful not to overwhelm the generator though, because having too many lights on, for example, will hinder the amount of charge you can put into the Accumulator. That's not all though. You as the player can control the rate of charge going into the Accumulator bank by using the generator DC rheostat control. Running short on time and need to get energy into the Accumulator ASAP? Crank up the rheostat. But be careful, charging at higher rates of charge will wear out the Accumulator's condition faster. A worn down Accumulator will have trouble taking a charge. If you've really abused your Accumulator and taken its condition down too low, you'll find it will struggle to even charge at all. You'll need to order accumulator fluid, which is basically battery acid, to keep the Accumulator topped up and maintain its condition rating. Every top up added to the Accumulator will add a random amount of condition percent, so no two refills are the same. This will cost money to maintain, like a lot of other things in the power plant. As mentioned earlier, you the player are affected by fatigue in game. You'll gradually get more fatigue even if you're idle, but there are certain factors that will increase your fatigue. These can include operating levers, lifting objects such as oil cans, being in noisy environments such as operating the power plant with no oil, and even using the radio set on a calm day or night. In order to reduce fatigue, you will need to rest. There is a resting cabin located nearby just for this purpose, and I'll go into more detail on the resting cabin in a little while. Both the Telegraph sender and receiver are included in the game, and these function to both send and receive telegram messages when specific game events occur or are yet to occur. Aside from receiving telegrams about impending boat passages, you are able to send telegrams requesting supplies such as oil cans, generator grid fuses, and accumulator fluid. Supplies that are ordered are generally delivered at the beginning of the next shift. However, you are billed for the order right away, so you need to plan ahead with your budget. Aside from receiving information about passing boats, telegrams will also serve to let you know in the unfortunate event that you happen to receive a noise complaint. Sometimes these may come attached with a monetary fine. In the demo, only limited messages are able to be sent and received. However, if you hang around on a calm day, you may just be lucky enough to receive a surprise message that will be very much worth your while. All that said, more variety with the telegram messages is planned for early access and full release. I've talked a little bit about oil cans and oil so far, but here's the lowdown. In the game, whenever the water wheel is turning along with the line shaft, i.e. the machinery, oil is being consumed as it is pumped around by the aging oil pump. This wasn't always the case. but unfortunately, owing to the advanced age of the components and rotting oil seals, frequent refilling of the oil is necessary. Oil consumption is randomized in the game, and so is the amount of oil that a given oil can may give you when you refill. So again, like the accumulator fluid refilling, no two oil refills are ever the same, nor is the amount of time of smooth, trouble-free running that you get between refills. Neglect to fill up the oil because you want to save money, or maybe you're just lazy? You'll be greeted with all sorts of grinding noises, and sparks will fly. If you let this condition persist, there is a random chance you'll receive one of those lovely noise complaints that I just spoke about. If you want to take the chance and operate the power plant on the shoestring budget, you may quickly find that it becomes an expensive exercise in monetary fines instead, or maybe you'll get lucky. Noise complaints, or NCs, like a lot of other things in the game, are all based on random chance. If you operate the power plant in a clumsy manner, neglecting to keep the oil levels topped off, you'll quickly find yourself on the receiving end of an NC. In the demo, there's only a limited number of NCs. However, in the early access or full release, there will be more. Some NCs have monetary fines attached. Some don't. You don't want to find out which ones do and which ones don't. Are you generating too much noise? Stand outside a well-oiled power plant and you'll note how smooth it sounds, even for its age. Conversely, run the oil levels low and listen to that racket. No wonder people complain. I won't say much about these so as not to spoil anything, but your actions, or inactions for that matter, on the site are periodically checked by Big Brother. You'll know when the auditor is visiting. You will hear them. Maybe it's not too late to make some quick fixes before they check everything out though. In the demo, only some items are checked by the auditor, and only a subset of those items have fines attached to them. In the full game, however, you can expect a more stringent experience. After a long day's or night's work, you can come back to your very own home away from home, nearby the power station, your resting cabin. In the demo, you can rest up and relax between shifts. In the full game, it's planned that you'll have the ability to upgrade your living quarters, as well as save your progress at the filing cabinet. The filing cabinet is the only way you'll be able to save your progress in the game. In the demo, however, saving progress is disabled because I haven't yet found the key to the filing cabinet. All joking aside though, the save and load game logic is more or less complete and has been testing well so far. So I look forward to including that in the early access and full release versions of the game. If you've made it this far into the video, thank you. Hydro has been a passion project of mine for the past 3 months, but before that, I've always had inspiration to create a game like this, and now that I've had the chance, even if only an unreleased demo so far, I must say, it's been a thrill ride. So many late nights and scratching of the old noggin to try and figure out how to code certain things, but always elation and joy when I've managed to figure things out. I'm currently putting the finishing touches on the demo build of the game, and once I've sorted out the Steam page, which has been purchased by the way, I'll be looking at posting another video to let you know that it's ready to download. Following demo release, I'll be hard at working towards early access, and the upcoming Steam page will have more info on what you can expect in early access and beyond. Without promising too much, I've got an idea to perhaps put in things such as quests or other challenges within the game where you have to generate certain amounts of power or complete other tasks within the game for some sort of reward. One thing I'm quite confident about, however, is adding more boats and more variety into the game in that regard. The activation of more marker lights and the changing of marker light colors based on the boat's direction as well. With the addition of the Telegram system, I can basically make any type of message come through, and I can program all types of random chants as well. But more on that as time goes on. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen so far. Whilst it's still a bit early to wishlist, I truly am appreciative of all the kind words of support and encouragement I've received even during these early stages. My whole strategy so far has been to be as iterative as I could, and that basically means trying to take things one step at a time without trying to bite off more than I can chew. Only about 2 months ago I had so many questions about game development, and I never really imagined that I'd make it this far as to even get the demo packaged and built up into the state that it is today. And I'm pleased to say that all the footage you've seen so far is basically what will be included in the demo as well. So hopefully that's a positive thing from what you've seen so far, and hopefully it's making you kind of look forward to the game as well. Once the demo drops, and hopefully it will soon, it'll be your chance to enjoy a taste of this experience too, and I encourage you to leave feedback and comments on what you thought of your experience at that time. It will help make future releases of this game that much better. It's worth just reiterating as well, I'm a one-man band here, and I've never made a game before, so this is my first foray into such an endeavor, and I really hope I can live up to the promises that I've made so far, and the experience that you've seen on screen. But I'm confident that once you get your hands on the demo soon, you'll enjoy what you have in front of you. If you haven't already, please like this video if you did, and subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell if you want to see more of this game, and until next time, I'll see you then.